Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour. India retaliates to the drone attacks from Pakistan, destroys Pakistan drone launchpad and Pak post from where drones launched. Pakistan continues targeting civilians across the line of control and international border. India giving befitting reply. Civil flight operations at 32 airports across northern and western India suspended. 25 key air routes also closed. Government fact-checking unit swings into action to highlight and debunk misleading information on social and mainstream media to highlight false claims. India raises serious questions about the effectiveness of IMF assistance to Pakistan, says Pakistan continues to sponsor cross-border terrorism. Big news we are tracking this hour. Pakistan's blatant escalation with drone strikes and other munitions continues along our western borders. In one such incident today at approximately 5 a.m., multiple enemy armed drones were spotted flying over Khasa Kant, Amritsar. The hostile drones were instantly engaged and destroyed by our air defense units. Pakistan's blatant attempt to violate India's sovereignty and endanger civilians is unacceptable. Indian Army will thwart enemy's designs. Meanwhile, heavy mortar shelling by Pakistan, which was started early this morning at around 600 hours, continued and targeting civilian areas near the international border of Ramgarh sector of district Samba. BSF retaliating the same. No loss has been reported so far. More details awaited. Earlier on Friday, Pakistan opened fire from about 2100 hours on BSF posts in Jammu sector without any provocation. Official handle of Jammu Frontier Border Security Force in a social media post informed that BSF is responding in commensurate manner, causing widespread damage to posts and assets of Pakistan Rangers along the international boundary. BSF said its resolve to protect India's sovereignty is unshaken. The Indian Army on Friday gave a befitting reply to a series of coordinated attacks by the Pakistan along the western border, including the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir last night. India has destroyed a Pak drone launchpad, Pak post and terrorist launchpad from where tube-launched drones were also being launched has been destroyed by Indian Army near Jammu. And another big news coming in. BSF destroys terrorist launchpad. Launchpad destroyed in Luni district, Sialkot, Pakistan on 9th of May 2025 from about 2100 hours. Pakistan initiated unprovoked firing on BSF posts in the Jammu sector. BSF responded in a commensurate manner, causing widespread damage to the posts and assets of the Pakistan Rangers along the international boundary. The terrorist launch pad at Luni district, Sialkot opposite Akhanur area was completely destroyed by the BSF. Our resolve to protect India's sovereignty is unshaken. And DD India's Amritpal Singh joins us live on this. Hi Amritpal, what is the latest you're getting on this for us?
Siddharth, the situation on the border is pretty critical. Both all along the borderline, be it in Jammu and Kashmir, be it in Punjab. I'm right now in Gurdaspur, which is a border district of Punjab with the Pakistani side. As you said, that there were attacks which were repulsed by both the Indian Army and our paramilitary force, the BSF. Pakistan is continuing with its attacks both by drones, missiles, rocket launchers, and heavy caliber artillery firing, even small guns firing, small arms firing along both the LC or the line of control and the across the international border. So it is a critical situation on the border districts in which Pakistan has chose clearly to put it on the escalatory ladder, which Indian armed forces and security forces are responding to appropriately and proportionately to that.
Indeed, Amritpal, can you tell us a bit about the situation where you are right now in terms of security?
There was shelling from across the border into the border districts of Punjab, both in Amritsar and in Gurdaspur, where I am. They are using, as you know, the night before, they launched an armed UAV on Tenpur, the Befitting military station, which was neutralized by our air defense systems. So the missiles that they're launching are being neutralized, but that is not deterring them from launching rockets, missiles, drones into India, using some of them are Turkish Sisgard Songar drones, which they are launching from their territory into both across the LC and the IB, or the international border.
Indeed. Amrit, any sort of advisory that has been issued?
Civil drills are going on. There are blackouts from 7 p.m. The citizenry has been advised to stay away from tall buildings. The malls, ATMs, commercial establishments, even government offices are advised not to use lights, especially once it gets dark. And people are advised to stay away from balconies and windows in the event of any missile coming and hitting. Civil drills are going on, and people are advised to take shelter. Civil defense volunteers are out on the ground to sensitize people. There are medical teams. The Punjab, where I am, the Punjab government is acquiring more drones. It's a 532-kilometer long border with Pakistan, which the BSF mans. So they have about 10 odd drones with them, monitoring drones I'm talking about. And the Punjab government is acquiring more drones. And all across the border districts, in the night, there's a complete blackout.
Indeed. Amrit, when it comes to the rising tensions between both the countries, especially in when you talk about Pakistan, it is shocked to see a nation whose economy is in shambles, apart from the fact that they are continuously, trying to attack India, which India is, thwarting every attempt of Pakistan. A nation, a state which is giving state funerals to terrorists, and also, like I said, is actually a state which is sponsoring terrorism and harboring terrorism and nurturing terrorism.
It's nothing new. I mean, they have always used terrorism as a state policy and used that especially against India, in fact, against their own people in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So the problem with that nation is, as the old joke goes, that other nations have an army. There, the army has a country. So the army calls the shots. It's not Islamabad that decides. It's Rawalpindi that decides their foreign policy, their internal security policy, their policy especially towards India, their Kashmir policy, and which the army's mindset is essentially, as we heard General Muni famously say, what he said. And, so that is a mindset which the army has, the Pakistan army has, and clearly they are not, wise counsel hasn't prevailed over them, and they are resorting to escalate this, which India made it very clear that even the 7th May attacks were not against the military installations or economic installations or even the civilian population. It was against terror networks and nerve centers and training camps and indoctrination centers. And India had advised them not to escalate it, but had also made it clear and said in no uncertain terms that if you hit our civilian population or you hit our military targets, we will respond appropriately, and that is what is playing out right now.
Indeed. Pakistan, Amrit, is also using, commercial airlines as a shield. How do you react to that?
That's the sad part. I mean, when you know that the border has heated up, they are using, as the Foreign Secretary put out yesterday in his briefing, the data from the flight radar app. They are, using an aircraft to fly in that space. Basically, the strategy is that if when India responds, if a civilian aircraft goes down, then they can, cry wolf and say, look, India is hitting our civilians, and they've downed our civilian aircraft. That is their strategy. So they're using it as a shield. So, which the Indian establishment and the international community is advising them that do not resort to these dirty tactics, but they are playing from their playbook.
Indeed, it's sad state of affairs, especially when it comes to Pakistan, Amrit. Like I also mentioned earlier as well, a country which is giving state funeral to terrorists, and you said that there's nothing new in that, apart from the fact that where do you see this going, Amrit, from here?
Right now, it's clearly on the escalatory ladder. India had made it very, very clear in both its public statements and its diplomatic outreach that India does not wish to escalate this, but if they escalate, India will respond with the same intensity in the same domain. So they are choosing to go down that alley. India is, responding appropriately and proportionately. So so clearly it looks right now that it's on the escalatory ladder. My sense is that before the international community really steps in and persuades them to de-escalate it, they are escalating it, and they will escalate in a few days in the days to come.
Amrit, we leave it there. We'll get back to you, but as of now, we leave it there. And we also have our correspondent Vishal Baristo, who is joining us from Srinagar. Vishal, indeed, a big victory. In fact, a new add-on when it comes to the tensions between both the countries. BSF destroying terrorist launchpad.
Well, absolutely a big victory. Not only BSF but Indian Army has also destroyed the tube launch pads of Pakistan drone attack, and that is near Jammu. Now, as I speak to you, Siddharth, the US Embassy from Islamabad has also posted a message on its X handle, and it says that Secretary of State Mark Rubio spoke with Pakistani Army Chief Asim Munir earlier today. He continued to urge both, he means, Mark Rubio, he continued to urge both parties, India and Pakistan, to find ways to de-escalate, and offered US assistance in starting constructive talks in order to avoid future conflicts. Meanwhile, it is not only a battle on the land and in air, but also a battle virtually that India is fighting. A false narrative is being spread by Pakistan. Let me tell you that these are all false narrative, and China is also joining hands with Pakistan in spreading the false narrative. All the news of military installation at Adampur in Punjab being destructed by Pakistan is false. Another false information being spread by Pakistan, which has been fact-checked and declared as fake news by the Press Information Bureau, is about a lady fighter pilot being captured by Pakistan. These are false narratives. I repeat, these are false narratives. Please do not succumb to these false narratives by Pakistan. They are floating all over social media, and PIB along with the Indian Armed Forces are virtually shooting them down, unmasking Pakistan, a false narrative across the globe. So do not succumb, do not subscribe to false narratives. You should watch DD News, DD India. You should watch the Press Information Bureau News and all the fake narratives that are being spread by Pakistan against India and joined by China against India are being unmasked by the PIB. And these are the news coming in. Meanwhile, as I speak to you, tension is still high in Srinagar, and we all are on high alert. The Indian Air Force and the Indian Army, they are keeping a close eye on any possible attack. Also, on the virtual mode, Indian Army and Indian Air Force are keeping a close eye. Meanwhile, let me tell you, when we talk about India's air defense, it is world class. Army has its air defense, and along with the Indian Air Force, the Army's air defense is shooting down any projectile that is coming from across the border. This is the news coming in, and for the benefit of our viewers, Army's air defense works with Indian Air Force and reports to Indian Air Force in time of any eventuality. So ever since this Operation Sindoor has started, Army's air defense has been working along with the Indian Air Force so that any threat in air, on the ground is spotted, detected and shot down.
Definitely, Vishal, you're absolutely right. We are public service broadcaster. I must second you in that here at DD India, we give you correct, actual and factual news. Apart from that, Vishal, in the beginning you talked about both the countries coming to a solution, but I really don't think so that Pakistan is in a mood to do so, because they were given a chance, but they went back to their own ways. They went back to their old ways, which they always go to. Vishal.
Well, absolutely, Siddharth, because let me tell you that the Pakistan government, we should not be blaming the Pakistan government, because Pakistan government seems to be helpless as always. It is the Pakistan Army that is controlling the situation. That is why the US Secretary of State Mark Rubio, he directly called Pakistan Army Chief General Asif Munir, because Asif Munir is said to be the brainchild behind the Pahalgam attack. And we also know that about a month back, these are the intel reports that I am sharing, about a month back, Hamas and the ISI held a meeting in the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and there it was planned how this Pahalgam attack would take place. So even the world knows, the superpowers also know who's the boss there in Pakistan. So we cannot expect much from Pakistan government. It is helpless as always, because it has been Pakistan Army ever since Pakistan birth took place that has been calling the shots.
Definitely, Vishal, and also I've mentioned it earlier as well, Vishal. It was really shocking to see a state which is giving state funeral to terrorists. The terrorists were draped in the Pakistani flag. The entire world saw that picture, and everyone is in shock. I mean, we cannot be in shock because we know that this is a usual nature of that particular state, Vishal. A state which is sponsoring terrorism, a state which is nurturing terrorism, a state which is harboring terrorism, and also giving state funerals to it. This is really shameless.
Well, shameless, but not to be surprised, Siddharth, because these are Pakistani army officers. They are very much part of the inter-service intelligence, trained by ISI. Also, they are ranks in Pakistan Army, but for the world, they are not disclosing their ranks. Ever since the Kabaili attack took place in 1948, I'm talking about Kashmir, and it was the heroism of Indian Air Force and Indian Army that the Pakistan Army could not could not come to Srinagar, and the Srinagar air base was saved and secured. That is why Indian Srinagar air base, Srinagar airport is so very crucial and still military base. So ever since the 1948 attack by Pakistan in the garb of Qabailis, the Pakistan army officers were dressed as Qabailis. So these terrorists, they are very much part of Pakistan army. So no surprise that they are being given the state funerals, and all the more surprising that during the Kargil war, Pakistan refused to take bodies of their own soldiers, because Pakistan is such a timid country that it will never come forward and accept that yes, it did it. And the Indian authorities and the Indian armed forces gave burial to their soldiers in the hills of Kargil. So this is not to the surprise of many, but yes, Pakistan will always do it. They are being controlled by Pakistan army. The so-called terror organizations that Pakistan has been nurturing and encouraging for 3 decades now. It is on record as told by the Pakistan Defense Minister, and they have been doing it. But we know, as India, we know that we have been always saying that Pakistan is a state-sponsored terror epicenter, but now the world also knows. So for 30 years, they say that they have been doing it, but India knows, and India has been telling the world that ever since Pakistan came into being, ever since Pakistan was born in 1947, it has always been doing it, and doing it against India, and now the world also knows it.
Vishal, since the time that cowardly and dastardly attack took place, we know that you're covering this very, very closely. We saw some reports by you as well. As of now, we leave it there, but I would like to tell you that you take care, because the situation there is really, really critical. Thank you so much as of now. And also, DD India's Ankush Sharma is joining us on the phone line from Jammu. Ankush, what details are you having on the fact that on 9th of May 2025, from about 2100 hours, Pakistan initiated unprovoked firing on BSF posts in the Jammu sector, and how is the situation there right now?
See, as of now, India destroys Pakistani drone Launchpad's strong response along LOC, puts Pakistan on the back foot. Tensions have sharply escalated along the line of control and the international border after the Indian Army destroys multiple Pakistani launchpads and delivered a strong counter response to continued aggression. Security forces along the LOC are firmly holding their positions, inflicting significant damage on Pakistan targets and pushing them into the back foot. On May 9th at approximately 8:20, the Pakistan Army launched unprovoked attacks targeting Indian military installations and civilian areas in the Udhampur, Jammu, Rajouri, Poonch, and many areas. These attacks involved drone and explosive strikes. Indian security forces respond swiftly and powerfully, preventing any major damage. In the early hours of May 10, around 5:30 a.m., Pakistani army resumed its offensive, once again targeting both India civilian and military zones. Indian air defense system successfully intercepted several aerial threats and them mid-air. Despite this, there were reports of damage to physical properties, but there is no such major damage reports we have. In a precautionary serious escalation, Pakistan attempted to target the Udhampur air base having explosives. This attack too was effectively intercepted, preventing any significant harm. Continues along the LOC firing, and the overall situation remains tense. The Indian Army has placed all forward positions on alert and has made it clear that any further provocation will be met with a firm, decisive response. On the other hand, CM Amrubdullah reached on the spot where the damage reports from the places, and the current situation is normal in Jammu region.
Okay, all right, Ankush, we leave it there. Thank you so much. And drones have been sighted last night at 26 locations ranging from the Baramulla in the north to Bhuj in the south along both the international border and the line of control with Pakistan. These include suspected armed drones posing potential threats to civilian and military targets. The locations include Baramulla, Srinagar, Avantipora, Nagrota, Jammu, Firozpur, Pathankot, Fazilka, Lalgarh, Jatta, Jaisalmer, Badmer, Bhuj, Kuarbet and Lucky Nala. Regrettably, an armed drone targeted a civilian area in Firozpur, resulting in severe injuries to members of a local family. The injured have been provided medical assistance and the area has been sanitized by security forces. The Indian Armed Forces are maintaining a high state of alert and all such aerial threats are being tracked and engaged using counter-drone systems. The situation is under close and constant watch and prompt action is being taken wherever necessary. Citizens, especially in border areas, are advised to remain indoors, limit unnecessary movement and strictly follow safety instructions issued by local authorities. While there is no need for panic, heightened vigilance and precaution are essential. A complete blackout was put in force on Saturday in several districts of Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab and Gujarat as precautionary measure amid the attack by Pakistan. Jammu and Kashmir's Akhnur and Udhampur regions went dark on Friday and in fact Friday night as explosions and sirens can be heard in the area. The Indian Army retaliated strongly in the Jammu sector in response to the drone attacks on Indian cities by the Pakistan Army along the line of control and international border. A blackout was also enforced in Punjab's Jalandhar as some drones were reportedly spotted for some time. Local administration urged the civilians to remain calm and follow blackout protocol. Moreover, as a safety measure, a blackout was also imposed in villages of the Santalpur Taluka in Gujarat's Patan district, which borders Pakistan. The Airports Authority of India or AAI along with relevant aviation authorities has issued a series of notices to airmen or NOTAMs announcing the temporary closure of 32 airports across northern and western India for all civil flight operations. The closure effective until May 15th is due to operational reasons. The affected airports include key air bases such as Adhampur, Bhuj, Amritsar, Srinagar, Uttarlai and Jammu. Most of these airports are located in Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab and the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Meanwhile, Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport has resumed normal operations and issued a fresh advisory for passengers amid heightened security measures. Directorate General of Civil Aviation DGCA on Saturday issued an advisory to airlines on providing proper communication and in-flight catering services to passengers as international flights are having longer flying time due to the Pakistan airspace closure. Passengers are advised to stay updated through their respective airlines, follow all hand baggage and check-in luggage rules and arrive early to allow extra time for security checks. Authorities also urge travellers to cooperate with airline and security staff for a smooth travel experience. There are significant rerouting of international and regional flights, increased block times compared to scheduled durations and possibility of technical halts en route for operational or fuel requirements. The advisory emphasizes the importance of relying only on official updates from airlines or the Delhi Airport website and avoiding the circulation of unverified information. And Ahmed Sharif Chaudhry is a Lieutenant General in the Pakistan Army, currently serving as the Director General of Inter-Services Public Relations, the media wing of the Pakistan Armed Forces. He is the son of Sultan Bashiruddin Mahmud, a Pakistani nuclear engineer and founder of the Ummah Tamir and now in 1999, an organization later sanctioned for its links to terrorism. Ahmad Sharif's father was once one of Pakistan's top nuclear scientists and provided terrorists Osama bin Laden information about chemical, biological and nuclear weapons. In 2001, Mahmood met with Taliban leader Mullah Omar and Al-Qaeda's Osama bin Laden. According to the US Treasury, those meetings included discussions on nuclear infrastructure and knowledge on nuclear bomb which Al-Qaeda was desperate to acquire. Intelligence agencies from the US and UK confirmed UTN's direct ties to Al-Qaeda and suspected that Mahmood's team was attempting to help bin Laden develop nuclear technology. UTN was later banned and Mahmood was arrested. The United Nations and the US designated him a global terrorist. His son, Ahmad Sharif Chaudhry, may have climbed the military ranks, but some legacies are not easily left behind. In different ways, both father and son have cast long shadows, their actions stirring controversy and raising questions that continue to shape how Pakistan is seen on the world stage. And a barrage of coordinated disinformation has been carried out by certain social media handles in general and mainstream media in particular in Pakistan, with sole objective to instill fear among the Indian masses. This psychological warfare has been actively debunked for the last few weeks. The Press Information Bureau's fact-check unit debunked a misinformation circulating on social media, falsely claiming that Pakistan has destroyed an Indian S-400 air defense system. The Press Information Bureau's fact-check team confirmed that the post is fake. Reports of destruction or any damage to an S-400 system are baseless. The fact-check unit has also debunked another false claim that an Indian female Air Force pilot, squadron leader Shivani Singh, has been captured in Pakistan. The claim is fake. And yet another fact-check by PIB, this time debunking claims made by several pro-Pakistan social media accounts, falsely alleging that 3 fighter jets have crashed in different parts of the Himalayan region. The image being circulated is misleading as it actually dates back to 2016. The Press Information Bureau's fact-check unit on Saturday debunked misinformation circulating on social media, falsely claiming that a cyber attack by Pakistan has caused 70% of India's electricity grid to become dysfunctional. The Press Information Bureau's fact-check team confirmed that the post is fake. False information is being spread on social video with a video shared on social media, which is claiming that India has carried out a drone attack on Nankana Sahib Gurdwara. The fact-check unit in a social media post debunked the reports, saying the video is completely fake and such content is created to spread communal hatred. The fact-check unit of the Press Information Bureau has clarified that social media posts claiming that an Indian pilot ejected from a fighter jet over Pakistan-occupied Kashmir are fake. India has abstained from voting on Pakistan's bailout package at IMF meeting. The International Monetary Fund took note of India's abstention from the vote. The IMF reviewed the extended fund facility lending program and also considered a fresh resilience and sustainability facility lending program of $1.3 billion for Pakistan. India raised concerns over the efficacy of IMF programs in case of Pakistan given its poor track record, and also on the possibility of misuse of debt financing funds for state-sponsored cross-border terrorism. India pointed out that rewarding continued sponsorship of cross-border terrorism sends a dangerous message to the global community, exposes funding agencies and donors to reputational risks, and makes a mockery of global values. Now let's take a look at why India abstained from the IMF vote on Pakistan loan. India abstained from the recent IMF vote on approving a loan to Pakistan not due to a lack of opposition, but because IMF rules do not permit a formal no vote. By abstaining, India conveyed its strong dissent within the constraints of the IMF's voting system and used the opportunity to formally record its objections. And these are India's objections. India questioned the effectiveness of ongoing IMF assistance, noting that Pakistan has received support in 28 of the past 35 years, including 4 programs in just the last 5 without meaningful or lasting reform. India strongly highlighted the Pakistani military's continued dominance in economic affairs, which undermines transparency, civilian oversight, and sustainable reform. India firmly opposed providing funds to a country that continues to sponsor cross-border terrorism, warning that such support carries reputational risks for global institutions and undermines international norms. All right, we are heading for a short break. News and updates will continue. You stay tuned to TD India. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. The Indian Army on Friday gave a befitting reply to a series of coordinated attacks by the Pakistan along the western border, including the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir last night. India has destroyed a Pak drone launch pad, Pak post, and terrorist launch pad from where tube-launched drones were also being launched has been destroyed by Indian Army near Jammu. Meanwhile, heavy mortar shelling by Pakistan, which was started early this morning at around 600 hours, continued and targeted civilian areas near the international border of Ramgarh sector of District Samba. BSF retaliating the same, and no loss has been reported so far. More details awaited. Earlier on Friday, Pakistan opened fire from about 2100 hours on BSF posts in Jammu sector without any provocation. Official handle of Jammu Frontier Border Security Force in a social media post informed that BSF is responding in commensurate manner, causing widespread damage to posts and assets of Pakistan Rangers along the international boundary. BSF said its resolve to protect India's sovereignty is unshaken. Another big development of the Saturday morning, BSF destroys terrorist launchpad. Launchpad destroyed in Looney district, Sialkot, Pakistan on 9th of May 2025 from about 2100 hours. Pakistan initiated unprovoked firing on BSF posts in the Jammu sector. BSF responded in a commensurate manner, causing widespread damage to the posts and assets of the Pakistan Rangers along the international boundary. The terrorist launch pad at Looney district, Sialkot, opposite Akhnur area was completely destroyed by the BSF. Our resolve to protect India's sovereignty is unshaken. All right, and in another big development of the Saturday morning, BSF destroys terrorist launchpad. Launchpad destroyed in Looney district, Sialkot, Pakistan on 9th of May 2025 from about 2100 hours. Pakistan initiated unprovoked firing on BSF posts in the Jammu sector. BSF responded in a commensurate manner, causing widespread damage to the posts and assets of the Pakistan Rangers along the international boundary. The terrorist launch pad at Looney district, Sialkot, opposite Akhnur area was completely destroyed by the BSF. Our resolve to protect India's sovereignty is unshaken. All right, and we've been joined by our correspondent Vishal Baristo. He is in Srinagar. Hi Vishal. BSF destroying terrorist launch pad and in Looney district, Sialkot, Pakistan. Like always, it's another victory for India.
Well, absolutely, Siddharth. A big success as far as our first line of defense is concerned, that is the Border Security Force. And also, tube launch pad of the drones has also been destroyed by Indian Army across Jammu. So these two are the developments, but more is coming, more good news is coming a short while from now. The Foreign Secretary, Vikram Misri, would be holding a press conference along with the Indian Army and Air Force lady officers, and we would be given a good news because India has gone deep inside the Pakistan territory, and there has been an attack
by India, because till now we have been defending, we have already given a long rope to Pakistan, but the details are on their way, so we need to wait for some more time because the press conference is about to start.
Definitely, the press conference will be there a short while from now. Like our correspondent Vishal Baristo said, Foreign Secretary of the Government of India, Vikram Misri, will be holding a presser, will be telling about the recent developments. And as per the news that we are getting from different sources and from a correspondent, there certainly is something good in store as far as the war is concerned between India and Pakistan. Vishal, when we talk about the Launchpad destruction by India, how big this success is?
Well, certainly it's a big success because these drones, they are cheaply bought technology, Turkish drones, and they had the Chinese ammunition loaded, and they have been trying to bother Indian security forces and also attempting civilian destructions. But let me tell you that the tube launch pad of these drones have been destroyed across Jammu. A video has also been released by the Indian security forces, and BSF also destroying Pakistani post and also rebutting an infiltration attempt by the terrorists supported by Pakistan Army. So BSF and Indian Army, along with Indian Air Force, they are on their job. Yesterday night there were 26 locations that were under the target of these drones. Let me tell you that these drones were used by Azerbaijan against Armenia, and they were successfully used because Armenia had no air defense system. But India has a very strong air defense system, and much to the surprise of Pakistan, India has defended its territory and defended very well. Apart from the killings of civilians at the Uri sector and the Samba sector because of the cross-firing by Pakistan and heavy shelling by Pakistan, these drones have not succeeded in their mission against India.
Definitely, Vishal. For all our viewers who've just tuned in to DD India, I want to tell you, viewers, that it was on 22nd of April when some tourists were enjoying their day and suddenly a cowardly and dastardly attack took place. 26 people were killed in Pahalgam. After that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi promised the countrymen that this particular incident will be dealt and will be dealt accordingly. After that, Operation Sindoor was launched. There were 9 targets, there were 9 terrorists' infrastructure that were blown. And after that, India said to the world, India said to everyone that these strikes were carried out. These are the strikes which are focused, these are the strikes which are non-escalatory, and these are the strikes which are measured. After that, Pakistan tried several attempts to attack India, but they were dealt accordingly by the Indian armed forces, because we know for a fact that we have one of the best armies in the world with the latest technologies. We are the best army in the world in terms of everything. And since then, Pakistan is continuously attempting to attack India, but every attack of theirs is getting failed. With each attack, they're realizing the fact that how much the potential the Indian armed forces have. Pakistan, in fact, tried to create communal hatred in India. And also with its fake propaganda, it is trying to show that they are somewhere dominating this particular war, which in fact is being continuously exposed by the press information bureaus, fact check unit. We just showed you a while back, viewers, that how the PIB's fact check unit is continuously exposing Pakistan, a state which harbors terror, which nurtures terror, which sponsors terror, which gives a state funeral to terrorists, as we all have seen in the photographs. We are still joined by our correspondent Vishal Barrister, who's there in Jammu, and we will try to connect with Vishal a while back. We will try to connect with Vishal Barrister in a while, in fact. And as our correspondent Vishal was saying, that there will be a press conference. The press.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this press briefing by Foreign Secretary Sri Vikram Mishri on the ongoing developments around Operation Sindoor. We are also joined by Colonel Sophia Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh for this briefing. With that, sir, the floor is over to you.
Thank you, Mandeep. Good morning. Namaskar. Sorry to keep you all waiting. जैसा कि हम पिछले 2-3 प्रेस ब्रीफिंग्स में भी बता चुके हैं, ये पाकिस्तानी गतिविधियां हैं पिछले 2-3 दिन से, जो एक एस्केलेटरी तौर पे देखी जा रही हैं और प्रोवोकेटिव तौर पे देखी जा रही हैं. I've said on numerous earlier occasions, it is Pakistani actions that have constituted provocation and escalation. In response, and I repeat, in response, India has defended and reacted in a responsible and measured fashion to these provocations and these escalations by the Pakistani side. Earlier this morning, we saw a repeat of this escalatory and provocative pattern, and I'll invite Colonel Sophia Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh to update you on the developments since early this morning. Colonel Qureshi.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar. पाकिस्तान सेना ने पूरी पश्चिम मोर्चे पर लगातार आक्रामक गतिविधियां जारी रखी. उसमें यूकैप ड्रोन्स, लॉन्ग रेंज वेपन्स, लॉइटरिंग म्यूनिशंस और लड़ाकू विमानों का उपयोग कर भारतीय सैन्य ढांचे को निशाना बनाया. नियंत्रण रेखा पर भी ड्रोन घुसपैठ और भारी कैलिबर हथियारों से गोलाबारी की. अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमा और एलओसी पर श्रीनगर से नलिया तक 26 से अधिक स्थानों पर हवाई घुसपैठ के प्रयास किए गए. भारतीय सशस्त्र बलों ने अधिकांश खतरों को सफलतापूर्वक निष्क्रिय किया. फिर भी वायु सेना स्टेशनों पर उधमपुर, पठानकोट, आदमपुर और भुज बठिंडा स्टेशन, इन सब पर उपकरण व पर्सनल्स को हानि पहुंचाई. मैं ये भी बताना चाहती हूं कि पाकिस्तान ने हाई स्पीड मिसाइल सुबह 1:40 पर इस्तेमाल करके पंजाब के एयरबेस स्टेशन को दागने की कोशिश की. एक निंदनीय और अनप्रोफेशनल एक्ट के तहत पाकिस्तान ने श्रीनगर, अवंतीपुर और उधमपुर के वायु सेना अड्डों पर चिकित्सा केंद्र और स्कूल परिसर को निशाना भी बनाया, जिससे उसके द्वारा सिविल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर हमला करने की गैर जिम्मेदाराना प्रवृत्ति फिर उजागर हुई. पाकिस्तान द्वारा सैन्य ठिकानों को जानबूझकर निशाना बनाने के पश्चात भारतीय सशस्त्र बलों ने त्वरित व सुनियोजित जवाबी हमले किए. टेक्निकल इंस्टॉलेशंस, कमांड एंड कंट्रोल सेंटर्स, रडार साइट्स और हथियार भंडार को चुनकर निशाना बनाया गया. रफीकी, मुरीद, चकलाला, रहमियार खान, सुकूर और चुनिया स्थित पाक सैन्य ठिकानों पर एयर लॉन्च्ड सटीक हथियारों व लड़ाकू जेट से प्रहार किए गए. पसूर स्थित रडार साइट और सियालकोट का एविएशन बेस भी प्रिसीजन एम्यूनिशन से टारगेट किए गए. इन कार्रवाइयों के दौरान भारत ने कम से कम कोलैटरल डैमेज की क्षति सुनिश्चित की. चिंता का विषय यह रहा कि पाकिस्तान ने लाहौर से उड़ान भरने वाले नागरिक विमानों की आड़ लेकर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय हवाई मार्गों का दुरुपयोग किया. ताकि वह अपनी गतिविधियां छिपा सके। ऐसी चालों ने भारतीय वायु प्रतिरक्षा तंत्र को नागरिक सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करते हुए अत्यधिक संयम के साथ कार्य करने के लिए विवश किया। साथ ही साथ पाकिस्तान ने मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन का सहारा लेते हुए आदमपुर स्थित S-400 प्रणाली, सूरतगढ़ व सिरसा के हवाई अड्डों, नगरोटा के ब्रह्मोस बेस, देहरागिरी के तोपखाना पोजीशन तथा चंडीगढ़ के अग्रिम गोला बारूद डिपो को नष्ट करने के झूठे दावे सोशल मीडिया पर फैलाए। भारत इन फॉल्स नैरेटिव्स को पूर्णतः खारिज करता है। नियंत्रण रेखा पर पाकिस्तान ने ड्रोन घुसपैठ और भारी तोपखाना गोलाबारी के कई प्रयास किए। कुपवाड़ा, बारामूला, पुंछ, राजौरी और अखनूर सेक्टर्स में तोप, मोर्टार एवं हल्के हथियारों से भीषण गोलाबारी जारी रही। भारतीय सेना ने प्रभावी व तुलनात्मक प्रत्युत्तर देते हुए पाक सेना को काफी क्षति पहुंचाई। पाकिस्तान सेना के अग्रिम क्षेत्रों में सैनिकों की डिप्लॉयमेंट बढ़ती दिख रही है, जो स्थिति को और भड़काने की मंशा दर्शाती है। भारतीय सशस्त्र बल पूर्ण परिचालन तत्परता की स्थिति में हैं। अभी तक सभी शत्रुतापूर्ण कार्रवाइयों का प्रभावी ढंग से सामना कर उपयुक्त जवाब दिया गया है। भारतीय सशस्त्र बल दोहराते हैं कि वे तनाव वृद्धि नहीं चाहते, बशर्ते पाकिस्तान भी ऐसा ही व्यवहार करे। आखिर में आपको कुछ वीडियो दिखाना चाहती हूं, जहां पर इंडियन आर्मी के वेपन्स LOC पर पाक के एसेट्स को ध्वस्त करते नजर आ रहे हैं। स्क्रीन में आप देख सकते हैं इस वीडियो को। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
Pakistan military continued with its provocations, carrying out aggressive actions employing multiple threat vectors all along the western border. Pakistan employed UCAV, drones, long-range weapons, loitering munitions and fighter aircrafts to target civilian areas and military infrastructure. Pakistan military also resorted to air intrusions using drones and firing of heavy caliber weapons along the line of control. Along the international border and the line of controls, air intrusion and several harassment attacks were also attempted from Srinagar till Nalia at more than 26 locations. Indian Armed Forces successfully neutralized these threats and majority of the vectors. However, limited damage was sustained to equipment and personnel at Indian Air Force stations at Udhampur, Pathankot, Adampur and Bhuj. There were also several high-speed missile attacks noticed subsequently after 0140 hours in the night at several air bases in Punjab. In a deplorable cowardly act, targeting of civilian infrastructure also had taken place, where Pakistan attacked the Medicare center and school premises at the air bases of Srinagar, Avantipur and Udhampur, yet again displaying irresponsible targeting of our civilian infrastructure. In a swift and calibrated response, Indian Armed Forces carried out precision attacks only on identified military targets. These included technical infrastructure, command and control centers, radar sites and weapon storage areas. Pakistan military targets at Rafiqi, Murid, Chaklala, Rahim Yar Khan, Sukur and Chunya were engaged using air-launched precision weapons from our fighter aircraft. Radar site at Pasroor and Sialkot aviation base were also targeted using precision munitions. While carrying out these responses, India ensured minimum collateral damage. Pakistan has also attempted to execute a continued malicious misinformation campaign with claims of destruction of Indian S-400 system at Adampur, destruction of airfields at Suratgarh and Sirsa, BrahMos base at Nagrota, RT gun positions at Derang Yari and Chandigarh forward ammunition depot, with heavy damages to other military stations being propagated on social media. India unequivocally rejects these false narratives being spread by Pakistan. Along the line of control also, Pakistan has attempted multiple air intrusions using drones and conducted shelling using heavy caliber RT guns, targeting civilian infrastructure and killing some civilians. Heavy exchange of artillery mortars and small arm fire in Kupwara, Baramulla, Poonch, Rajouri and Akhnur sectors continued. Indian Army has responded effectively and proportionately, causing extensive damage to Pakistan Army. Pak military has been observed to be moving their troops into forward areas, indicating offensive intent to further escalate the situation. Indian Armed Forces remain in a high state of operational readiness. All hostile actions have been effectively countered and responded appropriately. Indian Armed Forces reiterate their commitment to non-escalation, provided it is reciprocated by the Pakistan military. At the end, I would also like to show you a few images of Air Force bases in the Punjab sector and Rajasthan sector, where it is mighty clear that we are debunking the Pakistani claims of causing destruction at these air bases. You can yourself see the normalcy in these Air Force stations. This is Sirsa, Suratgarh. The runways are intact. There are also time stamps, just notice, they are also time stamped. This is today. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Colonel Qureshi. Thank you, Wing Commander Singh. I just have a few points to make in closing. First of all, as you have seen, Pakistani claims about activities that they have undertaken continue to be heavy on lies, misinformation and propaganda. And on top of that, this is peddled by Pakistani state agencies. The claims that they have made about attacking and destroying various places, various military installations and facilities, as has been pointed out by my colleagues here this morning, are completely false. The claim about the Air Force station in Sirsa being destroyed, completely false, as you've seen. The claim about the Air Force station in Suratgarh being destroyed, completely false again, as you have seen. There's a claim that has been made that the S-400 base at Adampur was destroyed, completely false once again. Claims have been made about large sections of Indian critical infrastructure, power systems, cyber systems, etc. being attacked and destroyed, completely false. I would urge all of you and all those who watch this not to be misled by this tissue of lies that is being peddled by the Pakistani state for obvious purposes. The second point that I wanted to emphasize is that Pakistan continues with its execrable and wanton campaign of targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure, especially in the states of Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab. There is also on its part a consistent attempt to sow discord between communities in India. As I said, there has been a particular focus in its targeting of civilian infrastructure and the population in Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab. Earlier this morning, Pakistan shelled the town of Rajouri, killing the additional District Development Commissioner, Shri Rajkumar Thappa, adding to the civilian casualties and the damage in that state. we have also observed overnight damage to property and injuries to civilians in Firozpur and Jalandhar, among other places. Finally, as I said, Pakistani officials also continue to make ludicrous claims about India firing missiles towards Sri Amritsar Sahib. As I said, these lame attempts to divide India are doomed to failure. We have also seen in some of the remarks that have been shown on television that the Pakistani army spokesman seems to take great joy at the fact that the Indian public should criticize the government of India with regard to various issues. It may be a surprise to Pakistan to see citizens criticizing their own government. That is the hallmark of an open and functioning democracy. Pakistan's unfamiliarity with that, again, should not be surprising. And finally, there is this yet again completely ludicrous claim that Indian missiles have hit Afghanistan. Totally frivolous allegation, and I only want to point out that Afghan people don't need to be reminded about which country it is that has on multiple occasions in just the last 1.5 years targeted civilian populations and civilian infrastructure in Afghanistan. Ladies and gentlemen, as you would have gathered from this morning's briefing, we are dealing with an evolving situation. Accordingly, today we don't have the time to take questions, but we will continue to update you on this situation as we go along. Thank you all very much for joining us this morning.
All right, and that was the live presser by the MEA, the Ministry of External Affairs, the Foreign Secretary of the Government of India, Vikram Misri, along with Colonel Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh, were telling about how India is actually thwarting every attempt by Pakistan, and once again the fake propaganda by Pakistan has been exposed, and it is being exposed time and again. Like I earlier also said, by the PIB's fact check unit that has been set up, is actually exposing Pakistan and its fake propaganda. The fake propaganda is one thing, and the personal propaganda is another thing which is happening in Pakistan, like we were having a word with our correspondent earlier in the bulletin. The fakeness is actually visible. Pakistan is continuously attacking, and especially in the border regions, heavy shelling. But the Indian armed forces, like I said, is capable enough to retaliate, is capable enough to give a tit-for-tat reply. And all these fake propagandas have been exposed in the press conference as well. And they are, like I said, being exposed by the PIB's fact check unit. Pakistan, the army, the Pakistan as a nation, Pakistan's government is really, really weak. Like our correspondent Vishal Barrister was also saying, the state which has its economy in shambles, is giving state funerals to terrorists, is actually a sponsor of terrorism, harboring terrorism, nurturing terrorism. There can nothing which could be said about that particular nation, and that we have also seen in their actions as well. India, the Indian armed forces are capable enough to give a befitting reply to each and every attempt by Pakistan, and which it is being thwarted since the time it is attempting to attack, and also trying to create a communal hatred within the country. But India as a country stands united against terrorism, and India has a zero tolerance policy against terrorism, and that again is seen in the actions. India's strikes were always focused, measured and non-escalatory, but given the fact that nothing happens from the other side, but if anything happens, then we are all set, we are all ready to retaliate to an extent which Pakistan does not even know. We have all the capabilities, we have all the technologies, advanced technologies, and one of the best armies in the world in terms of everything. So that is a message which goes loud and clear to Pakistan, that think before you take any action. That was and this is the video also that was shown during the presser, how India is thwarting every attempt by Pakistan when it tries to attack. And since the beginning, since the time Pakistan tried to attempt the attacks on India, India is thwarting all those attempts single-handedly. Like I also mentioned earlier, that we have the best army, one of the best armies in the world, with advanced weapons, modern technologies, and a mindset that if you will touch us now, if you will try to tease us, then we can retaliate in a manner which you cannot even think of. During the presser was the Foreign Secretary of the Government of India, Vikram Misri, along with Colonel Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh. This is the video, viewers. For all those viewers who have just tuned in to DD India, this is the video which was shown during the presser just a while back. And these are the absolute response of the Indian Armed Forces to the attempts of attack by Pakistan. All right, and now to talk more on this, I've been joined by Lieutenant General Rajiv Chopra. He's defense expert, joining us live. Hi, sir. A very warm welcome to the broadcast. Just now, a while back, a presser took place wherein the Foreign Secretary of the Government of India, Vikram Misri, along with Colonel Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh was there, telling exactly the kind of fake propaganda which Pakistan is spreading left, right and center, thinking that it could create something in the country, but this country's unity is something which worlds look at. And you know, the kind of fake narrative that they're spreading is continuously being exposed by the Press Information Bureau's fact check unit. What is your reaction? How do you see that?
See, firstly, let me tell you, information or misinformation warfare or propaganda warfare or psychological warfare or fake narrative warfare is one of the tools with any enemy to spread misinformation, create internal disharmony, and to bring the people's morale down, and also of the armed forces, so that they believe the military leadership and the political leadership is weak. But luckily for us, like being brought out by today's press, we are being briefed now regularly by the Press Information Bureau, but personally himself by the Foreign Secretary, accompanied by the reps of the Army and the Air Force. So we are crystal clear what is happening. Now it is streamed on all the channels, and our channels also, private or government, are keeping restraint on what they are showing to the public unless it's authenticated. So it's a very, very good job done by both the Government of India, the armed forces, the media channels. Let me tell you, India is known the world as unity in diversity.
Yeah.
We may have our differences, but when we come to major means to fight against the enemy, we fight in unison. We are together. Like even in Pathankot terrorist attack, they felt they'll be able to divide the nation on religious lines, on community lines, on caste lines. But unluckily for Pakistan, which was desperate to do a desperate act, it has united the nation. The terrorism has united the nation together with clear-cut political direction and political will, and the strength of armed forces and the support and the prayers of 140 crore Indians. I'm sure that we'll come out victors and it'll be a beginning of the end of terrorism, with the Pakistan is supposed to be a fountainhead and the nursery, not only in India but globally. So this is my take on it, and I want to tell the citizens of India that they should not take any fake news or social media. They must check, recheck, re-recheck, nothing checked, nothing done before forwarding it. They must rely on the responsible sources, which they are well aware, and the government channels and the private channels who are very, very mature in reporting, plus twice a day the press information briefing is there. So there's nothing to worry. If we are together, let me tell you, we'll give a befitting reply to the enemy as they are behaving atrociously.
Definitely. I second you, and I also want to appeal to all our viewers of D-Day India that please do not forward anything on social media without checking or rechecking it. Check it once, check it twice, check it thrice, but do not upload anything which could put anything, as when it comes to national security in jeopardy, because there are pretty much fake narratives that are being spread. Like the Foreign Secretary has just said a while back in the press conference, check it once, check it twice, again, refer to the public service broadcaster, because at Doordarshan, you will get actual news, factual news, correct news. Sir, also one thing which is very, very shocking, and entire world absolutely is talking about it, the fact that Pakistan is using the commercial airlines as a shield. Because as a matter of fact, that India will never attack on civilians. That is something which is known for us. This is something, because when we did strike as well, it was focused, it was measured, it was non-escalatory. And the world knows, everyone knows that we won't strike on the civilians, but Pakistan is using commercial airlines as a shield. How do you react on that?
Yeah, firstly, like I say, any professional army, including the Indian Army, will never hit on soft targets. That is the civilians, the religious places, or things, anything being used by the civil airlines. Like what you have seen, that the Pakistan, since till today, they had not closed the air bases. They sent strikes by missiles and also by drones in India, and they knew there would be a retaliatory response from us. And these retaliatory response will be there on the targets at the air bases and the drone bases. But to cover that misadventure, they allowed the civil airlines to fly. And in case, unluckily, that airline was hit, they would have made a lot of hue and cry. Look, India is a rogue nation, and they are targeting civil infrastructure, civil flights. They may be international flights or the domestic flight. It may have made a big news, but India has strategic resolve, strategic patience, and strategic restraint. We did wisely. We retaliated in a fashion where the airlines were not hit, and the world today knows that the Pakistan can do anything to bring a bad name to India, and the political leaders and army leaders in Pakistan can do anything to save their chair. And we must bring it to the Pakistani Awam that your political leaders and army leadership is not correct. They are not doing anything good for you. They are economically down. They are militarily weak. So this is what is the weapon of the weak. Whether weapon of unprofessional rogue army is to strike religious places and also the civilian targets, and also to bring fake narrative. We must keep our nation together, which we are doing. A nation, the military leadership, the political leadership is acting in a very, very matured manner, and we are telling them that we are only acting based on the actions. We will retaliate in same domain with the same intensity what we have been doing the whole night yesterday and early hours of today morning.
I second you on this, sir. Definitely. The people of Pakistan should think about the really fact that the government is actually not doing anything good for them, because there is no government as such. The government is weak. and a country, sir, like I always say, a country whose economy is in shambles, giving state funerals to terrorists and continuously attempting to attack here, all of their attempts are being thwarted by our brave armed forces, and it will continue till the time they will attempt such attacks. They are also trying to create a communal hatred in the country. But let me tell you that Pakistan, this will not happen. India is known for its unity and in diversity, and when it comes to terrorism, the entire country unites, no matter what are the differences among each other. Like you also mentioned, sir, we have a zero tolerance policy toward terrorism, and this will continue in future as well. Sir, thank you so much for joining in on the broadcast.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. All right, and this was the situation. This was the situation, in the presser that we just witnessed a while back. The Foreign Secretary of the Government of India, along with Colonel Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh, telling about the fact that how Pakistan is actually spreading the fake propaganda, how Pakistan is spreading the fake narrative, thinking that it will create a communal hatred in the country. But certainly this will not happen, because like I also mentioned earlier, that when it comes to terrorism, India stands united. We are example of unity in diversity in every sense. And apart from the fact that Pakistan is, attempting to attack on India, the Indian armed forces are brave enough, they are capable enough to actually thwart every attempt by Pakistan. We have one of the most advanced armies in the world in every manner. Pakistan, in fact, on the other hand, is using SHIELD as well in terms of civilian airlines, which is regrettable, condemnable, and also shameful. All right, we've been now joined by our correspondent Akshay Dongre, who is joining us live from Delhi. Akshay, a while back, in fact, we just witnessed Foreign Secretary Colonel Qureshi and also Wing Commander Vyomika Singh speaking about the fact that how Pakistan is spreading fake narratives and how they are continuously being exposed by the PIB's fact check unit. Also, apart from the fact that there is continuous firing from the Pakistani side, which the Indian armed forces, in fact, the brave Indian armed forces are retaliating, and giving a tit for tat reply to the heavy shelling which is being continued, especially along the border region.
Well, Siddharth, if you talk about false news, there have been a barrage of fake news that was spread from the very top of Pakistan. Now, those included that an S-400 facility has been destroyed, which is a fake news, absolutely false. Second was also that air bases in Suratgarh have been destroyed. That is also fake news. The airbase of Sirsa being attacked is also a fake news, and that has been clarified by none other than the Foreign Secretary of India, him claiming that the ISPR from the top is making all of these statements, all of these claims that major allocations inside India, as far as our defense facilities are concerned, they have been targeted and destroyed. However, what we can report at this time is that several air bases of Pakistan have been hit. There is collateral damage. There are several air bases from Rahim Yar Khan to other air bases, that is in Murid, air base in Chakwal. All of these air bases have been hit overnight in retaliatory action that has been taken by the Indian armed forces. So clearly it's much more than tit for tat, Siddharth, because all the nefarious designs of Pakistan are not only getting exposed, they are being thwarted and then later retaliated against. And in this retaliation, Pakistani air bases are sustaining heavy damage. Some have been damaged beyond the scope of repair. Their airstrips have been destroyed with the armament that the Indian armed forces are launching in retaliation. So clearly, one thing that we are reporting very safely is that that Pakistan has refused to learn a lesson from the earlier activities by the Indian Armed Forces. They are continuously supporting terrorism, and in support of terrorism, they have pushed the entire country into almost a state of conflict. India will continue to retaliate. India has been avoiding civilian areas. India has been avoiding civilian population as far as attacks are concerned, and these attacks are being carried out with a lot of precision. Also, there have been attempts by Pakistan to use high-speed missiles to attack air bases in Punjab. Those have been thwarted. The drones that Pakistan is using are mostly of Turkish origin. They have also been thwarted and destroyed as far as a retaliation by India is concerned. So clearly that Pakistan has refused to learn the lesson. India is doubling down on teaching them to the armed forces of the country.
Definitely, Akshay. And also there was a video which was played during the presser, Akshay, which told about how India is actually thwarting the attempts made by Pakistan. That video was clearly showing. I would like to request my producer to actually play that video. Akshay, tell us about it a bit more.
Well, these are terror launch pads and launch pads of the Pakistani Rangers and Army, from where not only drones were being used against India, but also infiltration bids were being planned in these areas, and that is why to retaliate against all the terrorist outfits who were planning to infiltrate into India or carry out action against the Indian personnel, they have been neutralized, they have been destroyed to the point of no recognition. There is a heavy price that the Pakistani military is paying. But let me go back to the air bases that India has struck as far as retaliation is concerned. Those air bases are also not only at the proximity at the borders of LOC and international border. They are also deep inside Pakistan. They have been targeted. They are at the nerve centers of Pakistan. Rahim Yar Khan being one of them. Other air bases also are being a part of the entire agenda that Pakistan is trying to build, as well as the attacks that it is trying to carry out against India. They are being thwarted and nipped in the bud even before any infiltration can be planned.
Definitely. So from the fake narrative, from the fake propaganda, to their fake attempts, to their attempts which are being continuously thwarted by our braved armed forces, Pakistan is getting exposed left, right and center. Akshay, I would like to go back a bit. I would like to go back to Operation Sindoor. India targeted 9 terrorists' infrastructure. I repeat, 9 terrorists' infrastructure. And Pakistan is targeting India's civilian infrastructure and civilians. This goes on to show the mindset of Pakistan. How low they can stoop.
Well, because the armed forces and the location of the armed forces, Siddharth, are quite secured. That Pakistan realizes, and that is why vulnerable areas are being figured out and being attacked by Pakistan. However, they are being thwarted off as well. Because India has not left even the civilian population to any chance. So the air cover that is being provided by the Indian bases are providing round-the-clock protection for not only the air bases or the military bases, but also the civilian areas are being protected with equal vigor, with equal strength of the Indian Armed Forces.
Indeed. Akshay, Colonel Qureshi during the presser said that there were long-range weapons which were used by Pakistan. They also used drones, and heavy shelling is actually being continued. In fact, especially on the border areas. Do you have something latest on that?
Can you repeat that question, Siddharth?
Yes, definitely. I was just saying, Akshay, that during the presser, Colonel Qureshi said that there were long-range weapons that were used by Pakistan. Apart from that, drones and heavy shelling still being continued. In fact, in the border regions. Do you have any latest news, any update on that?
Well, yes. Escalation is being observed at the LOC as well as the international border. So throughout the night, the western border remained hot. Which means that attacks kept on happening from Pakistani side. Shelling mortars, long-range weapons, including missiles, were used. Fighter jets were also included in this retaliation. That Pakistani army conducted after India struck more military bases in retaliation to the earlier attacks on civilian areas. So Pakistan's nefarious designs once again exposed of attacking civilian areas, and this will continue to be monitored, and these areas will be continuously kept out of danger with the sophisticated arms and weapons that the Indian armed forces are using at this point.
Definitely, Akshay. And Colonel Qureshi also said that India ensured minimum collateral damage. When it comes to the attempts by the Pakistan.
Well, yes, that has been the policy of the government to ensure that collateral remains low as far as civilian population is concerned. India follows, all the codes of Geneva Convention. It ensures that the civilian population remains out of danger, even if it is of the enemy country, and that is why, in retaliation to the attacks that have been carried out by Pakistan, has caused some damage at Adampur, Udhampur, Pathankot, and Bhuj air bases. But in retaliation, Rafiki, Chakwal, Rahim Yar Khan, Murid, Supur, and Chunia air base of Pakistan have been hit. They have received collateral damage. But as far as the facilities are concerned, situation while remains hot, India remains on the front lines as far as responding to these attacks by Pakistan are concerned.
Definitely, Akshay, you've named some air bases which were destroyed by the brave armed forces of India. This has certainly weakened their defense strength. Do you reckon that, Akshay?
Well, absolutely. If you hit the airbase of any country, that certainly is going to impact their operating capabilities from these air bases. For example, the Rahim Yar Khan airbase that has been hit by the Indian Armed Forces remains inoperational because there is a huge crater that has been built at the airstrip, at the very airstrip from where airplanes have to take off. India is operating on the principle of only targeting the offensive capabilities of Pakistan and the defensive capabilities of the military of Pakistan, but trying to avoid actively to cause any damage to the civilian population. Because the one thing that has been recognized so far is that Pakistani army is not even afraid of using civilian cover to later on build a propaganda that India is inflicting damage to civilians on civilian areas. So they are in fact masters of deception when it comes to their armed forces and their intelligence. So you can only reckon that if a country can hide out Osama bin Laden and then claim that despite such a dreaded terrorist being securely kept near the military headquarters of Abbottabad, and they were not aware of it. So you can only imagine the deception that Pakistan has the capabilities for, and those deceptions are being exposed by the armed forces as well as by the Ministry of External Affairs in these daily reportage. Because the report of Suratgarh Air Base being hit, or the Sirsa Air Base being hit, were completely false, and Pakistan has been going gaga over these claims of S-400 facility being hit, BrahMos facility being hit. Those are all false claims, and nothing of that sort has happened. In fact, images have already been shared by the Indian Armed Forces with timestamps to give a proof to the world that these claims by Pakistan are absolutely false in nature.
Indeed, Akshay, earlier in the day, you were talking to us and you were telling us that Pakistan was given a chance to actually come to a solution, but they went back to their old ways. Tell us a bit more about that. What was that? What sort of chance was given to Pakistan?
Well, Siddharth, ever since India struck the terror targets in Pakistan, that was in itself a ramp off to the General of Pakistani Army, Asif Munir, that we have only struck terror targets, we have not touched your military installations, we have not touched any civilian areas, so let's end it here. These terrorists were planning attacks inside India. These terrorists had carried out Pahalgam attack, so we have avenged that. We do not want further escalation, but we did see escalation when 15 cities were targeted. Then India hit back. Again, the air defense systems, especially the one in Lahore, was struck and neutralized. And yesterday evening there were hopes that finally Pakistani army will come to senses and will not continue this war at a point when they are already surviving on IMF loans. But Pakistan refused to learn from that and continues to attack India.
Indeed. I always say this, that a country whose economy is in shambles, they're absolutely not doing economically well. They are giving state funerals to terrorists, which is not something very new. But this time around, after the cowardly attack, after the dastardly attack on April 22nd, and then when India launched Operation Sindoor, the terrorists were given the state funerals. They were draped in the Pakistani flag. Itself shows and speaks volumes about the fact that how Pakistan sponsors terrorism, how Pakistan nurtures terrorism, harbors terrorism. And you know, everyone looks at Pakistan like that itself. But the very fact is this, that despite all these things, Pakistan is continuously trying to attempt to attack India, but those attempts were continuously thwarted by the brave armed forces of India. And not just that, the retaliation is even more intense. We just heard a while back during the presser by the Foreign Secretary of the Government of India along with Colonel Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh that how the fake narrative is being spread by Pakistan. The mindset is clear, the intent is clear, and all these fake posts on social media are getting exposed by the PIB's fact check unit, the Press Information Bureau's fact check unit. And you know, like Akshay also said a while back, there are barrages of these fake news which is being spread by Pakistan, because this is something they can do. This is a level, this is a new low for Pakistan, and a level which they can stoop to, and these are continuously coming, one after the other, and after the other. The series of fake news, fake narratives which is being sponsored, which is being spread by Pakistan. Now Pakistan, with their attempts to attack India, which is being thwarted by the armed forces, and like I said, retaliation is even more intense, along with the fake narrative. Akshay, you're still with us, along with the fake narrative, shows the mindset of Pakistan. Like I said, it was a beautiful afternoon on April 27. Those tourists did not know what's going to happen. Then a cowardly and dastardly attack took place in which 26 people lost their lives. After that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi promised to the countrymen, promised to each and every citizen of India that this will be dealt with much more intensity. And then Operation Sindoor was launched. 9 terrorists' infrastructure were targeted. And after that, Pakistan retaliated. Pakistan tried to actually attack India, but those attempts were failed one after the other, with the brave armed forces of India thwarting all those attacks and in fact retaliating with much more intensity. Many of those terrorists were reportedly killed in those strikes, which was measured, focused, and also non-escalatory. We are still joined by our correspondent Akshay Dongre, who's joining us live from New Delhi. Akshay, India has always said, you know, as far as these strikes are concerned, as far as the retaliation is concerned, that it is focused, measured, and non-escalatory. They never tried to, hit any civilian infrastructure, civilians. But, this is not the case with Pakistan. They are continuously targeting the civilians and civilian infrastructure. All right. Akshay, are you with us? All right, we are trying to connect with our correspondent Akshay Dongre, who's there in New Delhi, was joining us live a while back. We will actually trying to connect with our correspondent, and news just coming in. Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke with Indian External Affairs Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar. This is the latest news that we are getting for you as of now. A while back, there was a press conference by the Foreign Secretary of the Government of India, Vikram Misri, along with Colonel Qureshi and also Wing Commander Vyomika Singh, telling about how Pakistan is actually spreading fake narrative, how Pakistan is setting a fake agenda, and how they are trying to attempt to attack India, but courtesy our braved armed forces, which are continuously thwarting all those attempts and also retaliating in a much more intense manner. All right, and there was a while back, there was a press conference by the Foreign Secretary of the Government of India, Vikram Misri, along with Colonel Qureshi and also Wing Commander Vyomika Singh, telling about how this fake narrative is being set up by Pakistan, these fake news on social media, because as we all know that social media is the new in. Everyone checks their mobile phones every now and then, and Pakistan might have thought that creating these fake posts might create a communal hatred in the country, but this is not the case with India. Pakistan has to learn the fact that in India, it's unity in diversity, and when it comes to terrorism, everyone unites, no matter how much the differences they perhaps have between them. But when it comes to terrorism, everyone unites and everyone fights terrorism in unison. India is unity in diversity. India also has zero tolerance when it comes to terrorism. All right, and we've been joined by Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey. He is defense expert. Sir, first of all, a very warm welcome to this broadcast. Tensions between both the countries are escalating, rising with each hour, and a while back, in the press conference by the Ministry of External Affairs, the one thing which was focused is the fake agenda which is being created by Pakistan, and how India's PIB's fact check unit, which is Press Information Bureau's fact check unit, is continuously exposing Pakistan. And there is a barrage of fake news which is being spread in social media, because this is the social media era. Everyone, every person, no matter of what age, checks their phone with each, perhaps every minute or perhaps every 2 minutes. They try to create a communal hatred in the country, but India is a country, wherein there is unity in diversity. How do you see that, sir?
So, I'll just quickly cover a few points.
Please.
Firstly, look, I have been the ATG Strategic Communication of Indian Army, and I've dealt with this situation for a long time. Thereafter, I've seen this happening also in Kashmir, where I've served 7 tenures in Kashmir Valley. Now, there are couple of things which have come up very clear, and I want to send this message through your channel,
yes,
all across the country and the world, is that even the people of Pakistan have stopped believing in their own DG ISPR.
Yeah.
They had some relevance maybe about 7 to 10 years back, but slowly even their own population has stopped believing. And unfortunately, or for them and fortunately for us, in the social media domain where people think that information should be controlled, one has realized that where they claim that somebody was trying to hit a place, this thing, there are enough people, population on the ground who come out to actually support our claims rather than supporting the Pakistan claim. So I think our population has become very wise, and they have started believing in narratives which are coming from official channels from our country. And this whole system of a good press briefing, which has been started by, led by the Foreign Ministry and by two able women officers of our Indian Armed Forces, is a great step and is very calibrated measure to inform not only our public, but also to the world, because they are watching what is happening. It's very nuanced and very, very correct. So I will try and again explain to everybody that you must watch channels like DD News, which will, where their
there is correct information, there is true information, there is actual and factual information, I believe.
Factual information, because in case these channels start showing wrong information, even the correct information eventually will not be believed upon. And similarly, the PIB fact check thing which has come out is an excellent thing which has come out, and which allows people to reach out and go on to the media and exactly come back what is true and what is not true. So have trust, have faith in the government channels. In our country, nothing can be hidden because we are not an autocracy. We are not controlled by a military dispensation. We got a democratic system in which opposition parties have got much, much more say, and everybody has got a say on this thing. The second part, which I'll very quickly inform to your channel, to the people, that having been into the front line and having seen their operation system, I can assure you one very basic thing, that the Pakistanis have manipulated the art, managed the art of firing only at the civilian targets, right? They don't care that you are a Sikh, for which they have been trying to propagate Khalistan. You are a Muslim, for which they are trying to get through to the Kashmiri Muslim or Muslims in Jammu and Kashmir. They don't care you are a Christian or you are a Hindu. For them, what matters is life, devastation. If she's unarmed, unprotected, living in a comfort, they are going to come and hit you. They will avoid hitting military targets because they know the retribution comes out very hard onto them. And therefore, they'll generally avoid doing all this. But this time onwards, it's very clear that the responses are very measured and calibrated. And what we are doing, I'm actually totally in support of the government. I'm not in the service, and I don't have any political affiliation. But please trust very, very senior officers who are looking after this entire strategic rollout against the Pakistani strategic behavior to control and manage and manipulate to ensure that the behavior becomes correct.
Indeed. As far as Pakistan is concerned, sir, I would like to say that, you know, all these things which you were just mentioning a while back goes on to show that how low can Pakistan stoop to. Also, apart from the fact that the Pakistan is using civilian airlines, you know, as a shield. This is something I don't have words for it. How do you see that?
A couple of things I'll just very quickly round up. Time and again, even our media has started talking of, have forgotten the instigation, the escalation of April 22nd. We start our communication by saying that we hit the terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan. Please understand that we need to keep on talking about it in all social media platforms. Anybody who's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter must start the communication that we have been instigated by unarmed civilians in a very remote area, join themselves on controlled train because of their radical chief who believes we are two different people, that is one Hindus and Muslims. And by the way, he has not talked of minor dimensions, denominations like Sikhs and Christians in between. He just said that Hindus and Muslims are different. And the belief system, which is so radicalized because the kind of education he's got from madrasas, his father has been imam, the hatred which he has for a country, he's been trained in a time of Ziaul Haq, which you know was actually a rabid animal who actually has destroyed the entire education system of their own country and their own youth. He has been brought up in that time. And therefore, he had started this war in terms of attack. Pulwama happened, by the way, when this chap was the DGISI, right? So you can well imagine what extent he will go to instigate us, escalate the war with him, because today his relevance, the army's relevance, Pak army's relevance, which controls the state, is going very, very drastically down. You have to actually watch the reels with the Pakistani people make about their Pakistan army and the amount of hatred. They have gone and ransacked 4 corps commanders' house, residence. So that is a level of hatred. They had to do something to gain control. And when you add the geopolitical nature and the compulsions for the military-industrial complex of the world, which has sanctioned, by the way, 2.4, you're looking at only $1 billion loan which has been sanctioned. But I'm looking at that nearly 1.4 has been sanctioned, but $1 billion which was remained locked with FATF, with IMF, has also been unlocked. $2.4 billion have been released, fully knowing well where this money is going to go. It is not going to go to the people. It is going to go to Pakistan army, which is now going to send it back to the military-industrial complex of the deep state of the China or Turkey, from where the jobs will be secure for some time to come. So you understand this cycle and keep on talking about why these things happen. It has not happened because we crossed the line. We only hit in a very zero escalatory, controlled, proportionate manner the headquarters of Jamaatul Dawa, which is again a world designated terrorist headquarters, the Lashkar-e-Taiba, and all those things was done by us in a very calibrated manner that we did not hit any civilian targets. So people forget very quickly why it started, and then you'll suddenly see that entire world will start talking about that India is the one which is scaling it up. And last 3 days was very clear and evident that everything which came from the side of Pakistan has tried to hit only civilian targets. While they claim that they were trying targets, but look at the Gurdwara Sahib which have been destroyed in Poonch, nearly 16 people have died. You look at the casualties that have taken place in last 2 days in the terms of civilian infrastructure. That is the place they want to hit. They don't want to hit and take pangas with the Indian Armed Forces. But from the behalf of though retired, I can assure you that responses are going to go on till the time their behavior changes, which seems like today is difficult, because the moment Asim Munir stands down, he is going to be hung like so many other generals or their leadership because they let their own country down. So he's caught in a cleft. He's going to continue to work for his survival, to raise the levels of escalation till the time there's a full-fledged war. That is required for his survival.
Indeed. So the people in Pakistan, their people themselves are not believing the government. Apart from the fact that I always say it, sir, I keep repeating it, that a country whose economy is going down, whose economy is in shambles, the country who's giving state funerals to terrorists and continuously attempting to attack India, which the attempts are being thwarted by the brave armed forces, is a state where, I mean, which is unbelievable. I mean, in terms of the fact that they cannot understand, you know, the gravity of the situation, and they just keep on doing it. I mean, that's the kind of state Pakistan is. It harbors terrorists, it nurtures them, it sponsors them, and now the world knows it.
Yeah, so, you know, in the modern world, where people are looking at modern systems, they are looking at AI, they are looking at quantum technology, they are looking at a digital currency and digital system to live so that the comfort of the people is looked after. That country, if you have, I'm not sure if DD News got access to the clip in which the Pakistani chief, or rather their leader, supreme leader, is going around, Asim Munir is going around and speaking to the soldiers. He is not talking. His cause to war or going to operation is only one, and that is religious cause. He's only espousing Allah aapke saath hai, upar wala aapke saath hai. He has got no rationale to give and motivation to give to his own people. So a country like this, or world over, even countries like Saudi Arabia, who are the font actually where Islam actually comes from, have started moving into the direction of modernity. But unfortunately, Pakistan Army and the top leadership, who have been brought up in time of Ziaul Haq, have different notion of the modern world.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for joining in on the broadcast. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.